Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, man shot dead in alleged confrontation with the police in 4 parts of Clarendon. A man was fatally shot and a firearm seized by the police following an alleged confrontation in the McGill-Crest Palm community in 4 parts of Clarendon on Monday. The deceased has been identified as the 36-year-old Rashid Roshan Campbell of a tollgate address in the parish. One silver and a black burst pistol with a 1 magazine containing 7 9mm rounds was reportedly seized. Reports are that the police, acting on intelligence, went to the community in search of criminals believed to be in possession of prohibited weapons. It's further reported that the police called out to a man who aroused their suspicion when he opened the fire at them. The lawman returned the fire and Campbell was hit. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. None of the officers were injured. Getaway driver wounded in shootout with a licensed firearm holder at Spalding bar. An alleged getaway driver was shot and injured after gunmen challenged a licensed firearm holder during an attempted robbery at a bar in Spalding on Monday. Police said that about 3:30 a.m., 3 gunmen alighted from a motor car and were attempting to burglarize the bar when its security system alerted the owner of the establishment. Police said a licensed firearm holder responded to the burglary attempt and challenged the gunmen in a shootout. One of the men, identified as the driver of the vehicle in which the gunmen traveled, was shot and wounded. Police said his 2 cronies managed to escape. The injured man remains admitted in hospital under police guard. Police ID body found on Mammy Bay Main Road in St. Anne. Police have identified the body of a man who was found on the Mammy Bay Main Road in St. Anne on Tuesday. He is 24-year-old Rommel Brown, unemployed of Lime Bottom, Otterius in the parish. According to lawmen, residents stumbled upon the body around 7 a.m. and alerted the police. On the arrival of the police, the body was seen along the roadway in a dump heap with what appeared to be stab wounds to the upper body. The body, which is of dark brown complexion and about 5 feet 8 inches long, was shirtless, well clad in a pair of black jeans pants and a pair of black sneakers. Child seen in video being verbally abused by her mother removed from home. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency says that the child seen in an expletive-laced video being verbally abused by her mother has been placed with a next of kin, while the agency takes steps to have the matter brought before the court. Uno come take him. Uno come take him, you know. Come here go murder him, expletive. Hear me, I warn you. Hear me, expletive warning you. Hear me, expletive warning you, said the mother while recording her child. Hear me, I tell you crosses, expletive boy in my life. You and your picnic, come take your expletive crosses, unwanted picnic out of my expletive life, so me can't go live it. That me I tell you, me now go stop murder him, expletive, she continued in the 31-second video. The video has gone viral on social media platforms, with users denouncing the mother's action and calling for the intervention of the authorities. The CPFSA says it has since located the toddler and her mother and is intervening in the best interest of the child. CPFSA CEO Loretta Adams Thomas says it is deeply distressing and disheartening to witness an adult, in this case the child's mother, verbally and psychologically abusing her child. Psychological abuse is often not addressed with the same seriousness as other forms of abuse, such as physical or sexual abuse, but it can leave long-lasting scars which can affect them into adulthood, Adams Thomas stated. It has been linked with negative outcomes such as impaired social, emotional, and cognitive development. Research has also shown that children who have suffered psychological abuse have been linked to common mental health illnesses. Psychological abuse can be extremely destructive and has been associated with a range of adverse child outcomes, including emotional maladjustment, behavioral problems, poor self-esteem, and underachievement, she added. Manchester police target remote areas for criminals in hiding. Police say they will be relentless in pursuing criminals seeking safe haven in remote areas following a deadly confrontation with the two alleged gunmen on Tuesday in the quiet farming community. Police said one of the men was fatally shot after he and his crony challenged the police in a shootout in Over River District near Shudley. Police named him as Javar Blake, otherwise called Bala, a resident of Landed Settlement in Manchester. Head of the Manchester Police Division, Deputy Superintendent Kerry Duncan, told the news that Blake was at a house which was the target of an operation when a shootout ensued. A joint operation between the Manchester Police and our counterparts at the Specialized Operations Branch was conducted in the usually quiet community of Over River in the Christiana police space, he said. This operation was conducted in an effort to apprehend some persons of interest to us and also some wanted persons. On the approach of the targeted premises, two men who were armed with firearms exited the building through a back door. Both men opened gunfire in the direction of the police, added Duncan. The police, in defense of their lives, responded by returning gunfire in their direction. When the shooting subsided, one man was found suffering from what appeared to be gunshot injuries and one 9mm semi-automatic pistol was seized, he said. The injured suspect was pronounced dead at the Percy Junior Hospital in Spalding. His crony managed to escape. Duncan said the police have intensified operations to weed out the suspects from remote areas. In recent weeks, we have increased our operational output within the parish, and what we find is that our usual suspects have opted to make their way into quieter communities, he said, while warning residents not to harbor fugitives. Government MPs vote against the motion to support the IC recommendations for investigation into Prime Minister's affairs. Two opposition members of Parliament tabled a motion in support of the Integrity Commission's recommendation to refer the investigation into Prime Minister Andrew Holness's statutory declarations to the Financial Investigations Division during a sitting of the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee on Tuesday. The motion was, however, blocked by government MPs who make up the majority of the committee. Brought by opposition member Julian Robinson and seconded by fellow People's National Party MP Philip Polwell, the motion followed the IC report tabled in Parliament last Tuesday, which raised the concerns about the Prime Minister's declared assets between 2019 and 2022. The report recommended that both the FID and the Tax Administration Jamaica examine aspects of the financial affairs of Holness, including $150 million worth of transactions with various companies, and includes a US $94,000 bond. The motion called for the committee to accept the Integrity Commission's recommendation to refer the matter to the FID for further investigation. However, the government majority voted against the motion, citing procedural and timing concerns. Member of Parliament Polwell expressed his disappointment with this move. In all my years on this committee, I have never seen us reject the recommendations of the Integrity Commission. This is a curious break in custom and raises serious concerns about the transparency and accountability, Polwell said. Robinson also voiced his concern about the implications of the decision. The Integrity Commission Act grants the Commission the authority to refer matters to law enforcement bodies like the FID. By blocking this motion, the government is effectively stalling the investigation and denying the Jamaican people the transparency they deserve. This is not about politics, it's about integrity and good governance, he said. Polwell added that the government's decision to block the motion sends a troubling message to the Jamaican public, suggesting that important checks and balances are being disregarded for political reasons. The PNP will not relent and will use all lawful means to ensure probity and to keep the government honest while upholding principles of good governance and accountability, he affirmed. The FID said last week it was conducting a comprehensive analysis of the IC report to determine what, if any, specific area may be probed in keeping with its mandate. Defense are not happy with the tears from businessman's family. Persistent tears from Keith Clark's daughter while his multiple gunshot wounds were being detailed in the Home Circuit Court on Tuesday rankled the defense, sparking an impromptu break after they complained that the jury was being unfairly influenced by the emotional display. Dr. Dinesh Rao, former chief forensic pathologist in the legal medicine unit at the Ministry of National Security, who on Tuesday testified that Clark had received 25 gunshot wounds, including 20 fatal shots, was continuing his testimony via video when the matter was forced to break. This was after defense lawyers left their seats and were seen whispering with their clients who were seated in the dock. Visibly annoyed with King's Counsel Valerie Nita Robertson, who was overheard saying, "I'm tired of it," members of the jury were at this point told that the trial would break for 10 minutes and that they could stretch their legs. Prosecutor Latoya Bernard then informed the judge that she was not sure what was the issue, but had seen soldiers moving up and about in the back of the court and would try to find out what the objection was. The judge, however, said he had not observed any action that would cause any prejudice, as the jury was focused on the witness. The prosecutor then asked Nita Robertson if she wanted to put her objection on the record, and she indicated that they could discuss it in court. Reporters then left the courtroom and saw Clark's relatives with his daughter, who appeared to have been crying. Some of the defense lawyers then exited the courtroom shortly after, and Nita Robertson was overheard repeating that she was tired of the family members crying in court and that they should let the jury decide the case on the evidence and not emotions. Clark's son, who appeared upset, retorted but was restrained by his mother. Shortly after, the matter resumed, but it was again forced to another premature end due to internet connectivity issues. Before the break, Rao detailed 7 more gunshot wounds, 5 of which were entrance wounds to Clark's lower back and his face, and another to his forearm. The court heard so far that 15 of the 25 gunshot wounds received by Clark were to his back. The 64-year-old accountant was shot multiple times inside his master bedroom at his Kirkland Close home on May 27, 2010, during a police military operation to apprehend then fugitive drug lord Christopher Dudus Coke. Defendants Lance Corporals Greg Tinglin and Odell Buckley and the Private Arnold Henry are being tried for murder before Justice Dale Palmer. Clark's widow and daughter previously testified that they witnessed Clark being shot while climbing down from the closet with his back turned to the soldiers. Clark's other daughter, Brittany, had insisted that he was shot at the window while coming down. Both relatives had also insisted that they were home alone with Clark when they heard the sounds and thought criminals were breaking in on them. However, a former government forensic analyst testified that Keith Clark was shot while inside the closet in the master bedroom, contradicting the testimony from his widow and daughter that it occurred while he was climbing down from atop the closet. The expert witness also ruled out the idea that the witness was shot at the window. She testified that she did not see any blood splatter on the window or the walls around the window. She also could not recall seeing a curtain and whether it had blood marks, but was certain that there was no blood stains or splatter on the window. The court was told that it was likely that Clark was shot while positioned at the left side of the closet based on the blood splatter captured in a photograph she was shown. The witness will resume his testimony today. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.